Awesome. Well, welcome, friends and neighbors. We're really excited to have you join us here on Facebook Live. This is the Contemporary Theater's company's production of Whatever Fate Decides. And it is a show that is kind of at the intersection of tarot and improvisation. I'm Neil Leahy. I'm going to be your tarot leader and director today. And I've got a cast of players waiting, a very special invited guest to come join us. And without any further ado, I'll just bring them on and then we'll explain the show. So Lakshmi, why don't you turn your camera on? Come join me out here.
Hello, that's me.
So I have this wonderful guest joining me, Lakshmi Priya. She's from Bangalore, India. She's a mentor and a friend of mine. Just real quick to run down her stuff to give her a proper introduction. She's a co-founder of City Lamps, which is a playback theater company. She's a key member of Impro Comedy Bangalore, which is a wonderful improv company that the CTC is related to. And also, I can hear myself kind of echoing in the background, so it's taking a second to kind of reset. She's at the nursery, national improviser, and does all kinds of exciting stuff. So if I've missed anything, Lakshmi, let me know and chime in. But otherwise,
That's perfect. Thank you so much. That's really a glowing introduction.
So it's lovely to have you. Basically tonight, what we're going to be doing, Lakshmi, is we're going to do a tarot card reading. It's going to be a simple 3-card spread that looks at the past, present, and future of a question. And you're going to see something that helps us read. It's a second camera called the card camera. There it is. So you can see me reaching out to it. That's where the cards will go. And basically we'll do our tarot card reading. And at some point in time, the players who are waiting in the background that we haven't met yet might come on, or we might ask them to come on to sort of look a little closer at what the cards have revealed, or look at something that might have be adjacent to what the reading is saying, hopefully shedding some light on it, and then letting us know a little bit more about you and what's going on. And I might as well introduce those people too. So players, why don't you all come on with your cameras? I'll meet all of you. And why don't you just go around and just tell us just your name and where you're coming in from, just so we get a chance to say hey. And Stephanie, you can start.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I am coming to you from Newport, Rhode Island. I am a member of the CTC, and I'm excited to be here.
Great.
I'll pass it to Kate.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate and I'm calling in from London, England. I'm so excited to be here with such a lovely cast and our lovely guest. So yeah, I'm going to pass it on to Tara.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Tara. I'm in Bristol in the UK. Also absolutely thrilled to be here. Can't wait to see what we come up with tonight, and passing on to Nicole.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Perkowitz. I'm in Chicago and I'm so excited.
Great. Cool. So we know our players, Lakshmi. If you feel like one of them really speaks to you and you want them to sort of play you, I'd love it if that actor was the movie version of me, then you can, but no obligation to do that. We can also play it sort of free floating. So whoever you are can shift and move, depends on your preference. It seems like you're into shifting and moving from the way you're moving.
Yeah, I like the fluidity of that. And since I have this honor, I would as well like to watch. Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll just do that then. So players, you can go ahead and go. There's one other little bit of business that we need to make sure we give you, Lakshmi, just so that you know, because obviously today's show is about you and holding you up and honoring you rather than anything else. So if we come up with something where the cards reveal something that maybe is a little too close to home, or that you just don't feel good about sharing with a bunch of strangers on the internet, you can just chime in and say, hey, look, please stop. And we will. And the show will just move on and we'll go on to whatever the next thing is, and that's totally okay and fine. So there's no judgment behind that. And if you want to do anything at all, directing or performing or anything, you can. There's zero obligation on your part. It's really just like whatever you are inspired by. Cool. So I'm gonna bring out the cards. And
Yes.
yeah, exciting. So I had asked you, before, hey, do you have any questions that you want to ask the cards? Anything that's like kind of going on in your head? Let me know, like, what's on your mind?
It can be a little specific, can it not?
Of course. Yeah, we can be as specific or as general as you like. I have done this show with someone asking like very specifically about like, should I get a very specific tattoo on a certain part of my body to like
Wow.
read the cards. So like, you tell me what you like.
Okay, so something that's on my mind, I've been thinking about is going back to academics. So that is something I'm sitting with, and I'd like to know what the cards have to tell me about the feasibility of it, whether I'd be happy. I don't know, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so it's definitely like a career thing, and it's about like
Yes.
shift from what I'm doing now, which is like a lot of improvising, and like I'm thinking we don't know each like terribly well, other than we're colleagues, but like some sort of like daytime other job.
Yes, I do have a job, very mind-numbing, but a lot of space-giving job in search engine optimization, just technical writing. So yeah, but I get done with it really early on. So I have a lot of time for theater and doing my stuff. But yeah, you're right. Moving to academics would be a complete reorientation of how I spend my time and priorities, etc. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. So yeah, it's also important to note, like as we start, like Lakshmi and I know each other a tiny bit, like as colleagues. But I know nothing about your personal life or
Yes.
any of that, which is why I asked the question I asked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mute myself in a second. I'm going to ask you to think about your question. And when it feels like you want me to stop shuffling the cards and mixing the cards, I will, and I'll come back on. I'm just turning off my microphone so that you don't hear me slamming cards around. All right, here we go.
I feel ready.
Okay, perfect. So here we are. Just moving the cards into the card camera so that we can see what they are. I think that they're
Yeah.
really, and I think we've got some good stuff here. So as I look kind of like first impression at things, there's one big powerful card in the past that it's something in a suit called the Major Arcana. And they kind of chronicle like a soul's journey through life. And it's a card called the Emperor. I'll bring it to you here just so we can see it. And I'm actually going to bring my book up to you so I can just read and look at you as I do it. But basically, it's a card that's you can see he's kind of sitting on this throne. He looks sort of very ordered, and it's a card. He holds the number 4 for order and structure, actually, and like has all of these sort of symbols around him that make it look like you've got a lot of like order and structure with things, or had a lot of order and structure in the past. And a thing that's sort of important here, I think, in like what you've told me and also in the card, is if you notice he's wearing armor, which signifies like he's sort of invulnerable, right? In like both directions, like he's protected from harm, but also like not available, I guess, in some ways. And like sort of like you have some status that comes from this job that you have now. I'm assuming like you make some money, you know, from doing it, that's comfortable and good. And it's sort of like, it's not risky, or not as risky, right? Because you have like, I have the day thing, and then I have like the other thing. Yeah. Yeah. You're nodding your head and thumbs up. So I'm thinking like, yeah,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
resonates with you. That makes sense. And like, he's a very masculine figure too. So like, to me, it feels like, I don't know how to say it. Like there's a lot of like rowy energy around the past work that you've been doing. Does that make sense? Or like,
Yeah, I think definitely some structure and certain rigidities of the work that I was doing was pretty much like studies, etc., or even the work that I've been doing with freelancing, etc. Yeah, there is a certain sense of like importance of, you know, this is my work, I'm doing it, sort of situation. Yeah, I
okay,
do see.
cool. Well, maybe what we could see is like a scene with Lakshmi and like one of her coworkers. That might be really interesting. Just see like, you know, the moment before Lakshmi has to report in for virtual work, I'm assuming,
Mm.
and like putting your art stuff aside and being proper Lakshmi.
Yes.
Ah, look at everything around. I just love it. Oh,
Hi.
hi. Hi. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Sorry, you caught me. I was just having a moment. Sorry about that. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, it's beautiful where you are.
Yeah, I get a bit kind of you know, everything around me. I'm inspired by everything at the moment. But sorry, that's not important now.
No,
Uh,
that's it's huge. I mean, what we do here is kind of boring. It's just so redundant and just technical, and
yes, yes, it is. Oh my God, thank you, thank you for acknowledging that. Oh my God, that feels like a massive weight off of my shoulders that you've actually said that. I didn't think that you felt the same.
yeah, no, it just feels like every day is exactly the same. There's nothing different. There's nothing inspiring. I'm just here. I mean, I'm making money and that's great, but
Yeah,
it's just,
we've never really had a chance to talk really, because we're always just like ships in the night. But so like what do you like to do like outside of this?
you know, I like to learn. I
Yeah,
like, you know, I really like to just find something and delve in and know everything about it.
Cool. Pause right here. So Lakshmi, I'm going to check in with you for just a second. Does this feel like a conversation that you might have with one of your coworkers, or that you would like to?
Yes, it's sort of like the interview that I had for my work. They were like, "See, there's nothing here creative," and I was like, "That's good." And they were like, "It's very dry," and I was like, "Yeah." So I was like, Stephanie was capturing the essence of what I knew going into the job. Yeah, absolutely. And Kate talk about, how it's the same, which is true. I almost was going to quit the job just before pandemic. I'm glad I didn't. So yeah, I very much resonate with it.
Oh, okay, cool, interesting. And like the conversation that you were having, do you know any of your coworkers as real humans or?
Oh yes, some of them. Yeah. Some of them. Well, my ex works with me, so yeah, I know him well.
Oh gosh, oh no. Do you have
Yeah.
that person like directly?
Oh yeah.
You do? Oh, oh man, that feels like a scene somewhere. If you're interested, like maybe we could see that. Like you, yeah, it's happening.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Oh, good. Yeah. It's going good. Yeah. It's, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good weekend?
Very nice. Yes. And yourself?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
Good.
Um, do you want to get a coffee?
Really?
I mean, yeah, like,
Cool. I'm going to pause this here for just a second because this is interesting. But Lakshmi, does this feel like something that your ex would do or say?
It is interesting because I knew him since college and we were already dating when we got into the job. But this is definitely something like a phase in between after breaking up, which is like we are renegotiating our boundaries. So it is interesting. It was not so much in the initial stages of a relationship, but now, yes,
But now,
that
yes. Cool.
yeah,
Interesting.
just
So like,
renegotiate.
what? Real quick, we might go back to that scene in just a second. I just want to check in with you first because I was like, oh wait,
Yeah.
go too far. Like, what are 3 words that would describe your ex before we return to that?
Mm, reader,
A reader, okay.
very introverted.
Introverted, okay, cool.
Good listener.
A good listener. And if it's okay, and you feel comfortable with it, do you mind sharing that person's name?
Oh no, Shri.
B. Okay, great. So Lakshmi and Shri, let's see your scene just sort of pick back up where now that we know a little more.
Lakshmi, this is what I'm thinking. I think we can have coffee. Yeah, it'd be nice to catch up. Maybe we should just stay up here though, and we can go in my office and just where it's kind of quiet and do that. We waste less time.
yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, yeah, I don't want it to be weird, but I'd like to hear how you are and
Well, I was just on my way back, so I have a fresh cup. Do you need to go get? Yeah, I'll walk with you if you want, or we can meet in the office.
yeah. Okay, so I mean, I'll go get a coffee and then I'll come back and
Okay.
we can have a
I'll sit down and come right back.
okay.
Nice, nice, cool. So I'm wondering, Lakshmi, if maybe yeah,
Yeah, that awkwardness though. It's exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad we've captured the essence of Shri somehow.
Very much. Yeah, it's that level of like I don't want to be like necessarily seen too much. Yeah, it's part of
Yeah.
it.
Cool. Well, I'm glad that we kind of like wrapped up or kind of got a lot of the area around your job. And interesting that I could never work with my ex anybody. Oh God.
I hope you never have to.
I
But
hope so too, because I'm married right now and that would really suck. I don't want her to be my ex anything. Great to her. I love her. This next card, though, as we move through the reading, I think is important. So it's the Queen of Swords. And it's important here because a lot of times court cards can be people in your life. And it feels like this is you, like or she is you, or an aspect of you. And if we look like a little closer at her, we can see like she's sitting on this throne, and she's got all these sort of like symbols on the throne, like butterflies and things. They're all like symbols of like transformation and change. And she's like facing the future, right? If we think about, because these cards are like, they're Western, so like thinking of left to right reading, right? She's like facing the future head on with her sword raised, kind of like, bring it, I'm ready, let's go. Which is kind of cool, right? And she's sort of like cutting through stuff, and you can see the wind whipping by, like there's change happening. So to me, it feels like, just in the present with your career, right? That, like you said, like stuff's happening, right? Like, and you're facing it head on, and like looking at the truth of it, and like being very direct with yourself about like, well, what needs to happen? Like, what are the expectations for this? And also a little bit of like, I'm ready world, sword raised, hand out, like, bring me your stuff. I'm gonna cut it down, cut to the center of it,
Yeah, I'm sorry about little dog who's barking early morning. I hope he's okay, but that is becoming part of. If you hear him, I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think definitely the bit about self-reflection and calling my own priorities out is very real at the moment. I'm like, nobody's making you stay anywhere that you're staying. Each choice that you're making is your own. You do, if you do want to get into academics, back into academics the way I was sharing, then only I can make it happen. Like it has to be me going out there, because there are, I have very good relationship with like my professors, my universities. All I need to do is sit down, make that folder, put in the, either the MA or the PhD programs and the scholarships I'm interested in. But it's all me. Like I have to just sit down and do this. There's nobody who's standing in between. I have a good portfolio at this moment. So absolutely, the idea of like, bring it. But it's interesting to me, the bring it is to myself. Like, hey, if you're sure, you bring it, you make that folder, which in my head is the big step. You make a folder saying, hey, future studies, and then okay, you're ready. But yeah, absolutely. I do think I'm not kidding myself anymore. I'm not like, oh, I'm not ready yet or whatever. I'm as ready as I can be if I want to leave right now. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I just have a couple of questions to clarify things.
Yes.
What's your field of study? I don't know anything about it.
So I did my master's in English studies. I did, my dissertation was in poetry. I mean, that was really out of like, I couldn't think of anything. But I'm now very interested in history, polity, and also writing. So it's changing. That's another field that's changing, because I want to be sure that whatever I'm going to do, I'm first, impacted by my last 5 years out of college, which means all the theater that I've done, all the work that I've done, because whatever my job may be, it is also a very, very safe space, which has also given me very wonderful managers. So I've learned a lot from there. So spaces which could sort of combine that, and I definitely wanted to be grounded in the real world. So yeah, that's my field of study. But what exactly I might study next, I don't know yet.
That sounds interesting. I feel like it might be really interesting to see, because you talked about like putting a packet together and all that. Like it might be interesting to see what happens if we have like, it's done, like the packet's done, it's happened, and like now what? Like if you feel inspired to that, like feel free. You can see like what that might be.
Okay, literally putting the last full stop on that. It's done. Oh my God, it's actually done. You know what that means?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm all of your ideas. I'm ready. You can
Oh.
present me.
Oh my God, you're, oh my God. I'm so excited and so scared at the same time because now I can see you. I know that this is it and I actually have to do this, don't I?
Well, look, you've killed it. You've absolutely smashed it. It's amazing. I'm fully formed. I'm completely present. I exist. I was ideas in your head. Now I am, yep, I'm a fully formed portfolio.
Literally tangible, almost. I, I, so what do I do with you? Oh God.
Show me off.
Oh.
Present me. I'm ready. I want to be seen.
Yes, yes. And I am proud of myself. I definitely was going round the houses about this, but now I've done it. That is it. There's no stopping me. There's no stopping us.
I'm just a fraction of the brilliance that is coming out of you.
Oh man,
I believe that.
I believe that too. Like that, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. I can't wait for that moment. Thank you, Kate and Tara. I think I'm feeling inspired to do this. Yes.
Awesome. Good. That's what we want to hear. That like, I look forward to not just the mighty packet of paperwork that you will send out to like various universities, but in a few years from now, when hopefully we still know each other and we're still colleagues,
Yes.
like, I'm bringing my friend Dr. Lakshmi Priya. Right? Yeah, I think that'd be super fun. So cool. Yeah, so now we come to like kind of the next part of the show. Unless there's anybody who has like other things they want to look at in the present, but I feel like we've seen what we need to see probably. But players, if you feel differently, let me know. And actually, if there's more about the present you want to see, obviously let us know. But we're kind of moving towards the future, and with the future part of things, you have a little extra control of the show if you want to.
Okay.
I think that the future is interesting when I look at this card, but just remember, like, hey, if you like this future, great, then there it is, and we know what your trajectory is. But if you see it and you're like, I don't think I like this, well, then we'll pick something else. You can mold and shape it in the show and in your life. So interesting. The card is Seven of Cups. And yeah, it's the classic card that comes up in the tarot when it's like, I have a bunch of choices to make and like with new opportunities. When I saw this and I saw you talking about like, oh man, like here it is. Like that makes total sense. So like you see the image on the card, there's a man. And again, my cards are the old school, like Rider-Waite cards. Sometimes they're unnecessarily gendered. So like think of aspects of yourself, yes, this figure is masculine, but it's you. And they're standing in front of 7 cups that are filled with all these gifts. And if you look really close, some of them look like they're nice on the surface, but they're not all that cool. Like, I don't know if I want a tiny little dragon or a snake. And some of them look really, really great. Like, that sounds really cool. Like, I think I'd like that. So it's a symbol, like, to be careful, that the choice that you make is the one that like serves your highest good, and that you have all these new opportunities, but some of them could be illusion, right? So like really look and make sure that things are as good as they seem, and to like be careful about like dreaming towards the future, but then not like nailing it down and following through, right? Like we want to see you like make Tara your portfolio, right? And then like submit her on, and then like when you get all those acceptance letters back, like, Lakshmi, we want to give you all this money and, come to our university. Great. Like, I'm taking the one that's right for me, and we're going to act, and we're going to go. We're not going to sit and dream about, like, what would it be like to go there? And I think that's Tara, the portfolio. Indeed, the players are commenting in the chat and kidding around. But I think that's what the cards are showing. Does that make sense to you? Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, it does. It does, because I have a very big, and it has served me at times and not served me at times, this existential part of me, which is just really happy just existing. I can do all these things, but at the same time, I can not do all of stuff. What I draw, my sense of worth changes very easily. Sometimes it's, of course, all the productivity and getting stuff done and doing things gives me a lot of meaning. But when I'm hearing you talk about, following through, sometimes either I make it up as an excuse. I'm like, I don't need this. I exist. I am fine. Or on the other hand, it can be really like a questioning of, do I want to step into this sort of post-capitalist world, which is so because even academics, as much as any other industry, is about just like that race. And sometimes is that what you want really? So you're very right. There is a big part of me which is that kind of can sit on something and think about it for years.
Okay, I think the players are fired.
Yes.
Who's next? Hello. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for seeing me.
Now, I understand until you submitted this portfolio to us, you've had a career in technical writing. Is that?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, I've seen many of these, right? And I'm just wondering, when did you have time to produce work of this caliber?
Thank you.
I'll make it snappy. We want you to come to our school.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I mean, I didn't think thanks.
Yes, I would like to offer you a full ride to the University of Bangalore.
Wow. I'm overwhelmed, and I'm so grateful. And I don't want to sound ungrateful. But do I have to tell you right now? Do I have to accept right now?
I understand. Actually, I'm glad that you asked, because that brings me to a very important second part of this meeting. I'm just right on your portfolio here now. Usually after we offer someone a full ride, we like to immediately have a nice discussion about it, where you are, how you're feeling. I am trained as a therapist, although I am not your therapist, for confidentiality purposes. This conversation, we want our artists here to be comfortable. We want someone here who can produce work of this caliber, but we think it's important that your mental health allows you to produce it consistently. So talk to me a little bit about what you're feeling.
I mean, that is music to my ears, because that's every box ticked. So I feel like that's a weight taken off my shoulders again. That's what I worry about. I want to do everything, but I don't want to feel like I'm overwhelmed. So if there's a balance there, and I can be creative and do all of the work as well, then amazing.
Great to hear from Lakshmi's other choices. Make your case. See if you can get Lakshmi to pick you instead. And players, you can just come right on and just see if you can pull Kate away from what Nicole was offering. She has so many options.
You don't have to take it just because you got in.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
you're right.
You could really, if you want, you can do anything. It's just a matter of, but is this really what we want? I mean, let me put it to you this way.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all the other things you could do with the time that you're going to be spending at boring conferences, trying to prove yourself in this world of academia. There's just like, you know, fusty old professors that you're going to come up against. You're going to have to compete with other people, you know, to get the commissions to do the research that you want to do, to get published in the journals you want to be published in.
Yeah, I know all of this. I do know all of this, but if I don't try, I won't know. So I can give it a go. And yes, of course, it's a massive deal. But if I don't want to do it and I decide it's not for me, then yes, it is a massive upheaval, but I can step away. But why not give it a go? If they really sound like they can back me and they've got my mental health in check, then I feel a lot better about all of that. Why not take the chance?
You have a job now. It pays well. You're supporting yourself. You know, it's a little boring, but at least you know what to expect. And, you know, every day is pretty much the same. There's no surprises.
Yeah, and that is good normally, but we all know that everything worth doing is just that bit outside your comfort zone. And so what if I try and fail? This
But
is
how will you
comfort.
fit?
Why am I thinking about these things? Because obviously something you're telling me in here that I should be questioning it, right?
Okay, Lakshmi, I can see that you're playing something out in your head right now in this meeting. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what's happening in there?
There's so much.
Don't tell her. She won't understand.
So, like lots of stuff that probably I've got to work through myself.
I'm gonna think you want it.
But I really want this. But I also, it's a massive decision. So I want to make sure that I do right by you as well as me by making the right decision. And I just would love at least the overnight test, just so that I can get my head straight.
Lakshmi, they need to prove to you that you should take this place. Don't think about it only as them offering it to you. It's it's whether or not you want to take it. I would ask for more information. Ask them about the professors, about who you'll be working with, and what you could expect in terms of how much time you will be teaching versus how much time you'll be studying.
There's obviously lots of questions as well that I have for you and
yes.
you know, about everything. So maybe we could kind of discuss those too at some point before I make my decision, because you know, I do think I am an asset here, and you know how quickly that you kind of said that I was in, like it was a surprise, but then I thought, yeah, I do deserve to be here. So I think it's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I don't know, Lakshmi. I feel like I'm seeing you smile and clap. So like,
Oh my God, that was very powerful to watch.
yeah. I mean, you know, all these choices are sort of vying for your attention, and
Yeah.
you know, I think that the players at least feel like you can be the Queen of Swords. You know,
Ah,
that you can cut right through and, you know, choose the thing that's best for you, and that you know, like this, you're the badass lady with the sword. I'll show it.
I
Right?
would love a sword.
Like hanging out, you know, on her throne, well, with her butterflies and her
She looks
sword.
so chill. She knows what she wants.
Yeah, she's totally like, all right, like show me what you got, future. I'm ready.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like what it is going forward, right? Like you're going to be presented with a lot of choices once you build
Yeah.
a portfolio together and you start, you know, shopping her around to like the various places that you want to go to school. Like, you know, you're going to have all these choices, and you can totally be on your throne. Like, all right, show me what you got. Like, what am I going to be doing?
I really love that bit about they need to prove to you, and that's it's so difficult to remember it sometimes, but it's so important to remember it. It could really make or break the conversation, right? Because especially when I came out of college, nobody sort of told me about how, jobs, because of being in the homes that I've grown up in, it's always like somebody's giving you a job, you should be forever thankful to them, like they're doing you a favor. So I grew up like that, and that's how my earlier negotiation while working would go. I'd be like, thank you, do you need me to do anything more? Oh my god, please step on my head, sort of situation.
Yeah.
Mostly like, why would you pay me this much? But now, I mean, that was 5 years ago, but now it's really like what Stephanie said, like, why, what do you have to get, and what is the catch? Ask, be transparent, be assertive, which is really, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it feels like that was a future you wanted to see. And the smiles on your face and all of that. And that we don't need to like reshape it, but we could. Like if you feel like you need to tweak something, we could. It's up to
No,
you.
that's perfect.
Okay, great. Well, then we're good with that. Now, our show and our time is for you. So like we're kind of we're very, very early India Standard Time, and I know this, and I appreciate that you've taken the time to come join us, which is great. I will give you the option if you want for a quick second read, but if you feel like I think I know what I need. Like I've got my future planned. I'm ready. That's fine too. So it's up to you. What do you feel like?
Ah, um, what would second read mean?
What a second read. It might mean like a quick look at like another question that you have, if you have one, or if you feel like, I got this, like I've got my future locked in, then maybe we're good. As I sit and think about it, like I don't know how to stop this, but I feel like we're in a really good place, Lakshmi. I feel like this is a really nice place. And if you feel like you have other questions, you can always ask me anytime, and I'd be glad to read for you again about anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was really wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Players, why don't you all come back on?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all of the good work that you've done. Yes, exactly. Be the sword, slice through all of the things. And everyone, this has been a production at the Contemporary Theater. It was kind of crystallized in the crucible that Nicole and I are a part of, called No Pants Improv, and brought to you with a bunch of international, regional, and local to the CTC improvisers. Lakshmi, thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate having you and for you being so open and honest with your life. And can't wait to improvise with you again. Friends, come check out the CTC as they gradually open online. Grab an ice cream, hang out. Take care. We'll see you soon.